Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am the Heir of Carthage and we are in Total War Warhammer 3 again today. And I wanted to cover something with you. Are you a new player to Total War Warhammer? Do you feel like maybe you lack the skill level to play the campaigns on, say, very hard or legendary difficulty? When you get a new Total War game, are you one of the people who likes to ease in first and learn a little more about the game before you take on those harder challenges? Well, if you're in any of those categories, or if you just want to have a little bit of knowledge of the factions in Total War Warhammer 3 in general, then hopefully this video is for you and it will be helpful. So I want to talk about which campaign do I recommend that you play first in Total War Warhammer 3. Now, they actually have on the screen here this little marker that says recommended first campaign, and they put it on Demons of Chaos and they put it on Kislev. I'm not allowed to talk to you about Kislev. I'm not even allowed to show you the screen here on Kislev because that is not out of an embargo. It's coming soon. I will be able to show you. However, I've played enough campaigns in Total War Warhammer 3, and without talking about any of the ones that I'm not allowed to, I believe that there are two campaigns that are good to start with. One is the Demons of Chaos with the Demon Prince, and you all saw that. However, I still think that the best starting campaign is one that CA did not mark, and it's actually in Grand Cathay with Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon. There's a lot of reasons why I think the Iron Dragon is going to be a great first campaign for people, and I want to go through those. So let's load up his campaign, and I'll show it to you. But right off the bat, there's a few things here that are going to tip us off that he is going to be a good campaign. If we look at his map start position, he's not even on the Great Bastion. So you're not going to have to even be fighting back these Chaos Assaults on the Great Bastion. You're mostly surrounded by other Cathayan factions. There's a few greenskins and maybe some ogres, depending on, what happens in your start, but it's a pretty nice start position. And then if you look here, he gets extra cargo capacity for his caravans, which means you're going to be raking in more money. There's less upkeep for ogre mercenaries in case you start to throw those into your army. There's less upkeep for melee units in his army, and you're going to need melee units in every army. He's got a better chance of picking up magic items. So Zhao Ming is looking pretty good from this standpoint. Let's load up and go show you what happened. Now, I'm not going to show any cutscenes today because you have already seen them. And let's jump in. Okay, I have loaded into a campaign with Zhao Ming, the Iron Dragon of Cathay, and you can see his start position here. We are in the wasteland. Well, we're near the wastelands. I guess we're not I think we are technically in it. The wastelands of Jinshin. And then, oh no, I don't know. I don't know which one we're technically a part of. There's the Broken Tian that we're here. I don't know. Hang on. Wastelands of Jinshin. Okay, that's the one it is. Like, you know what, Air? You can just click it and see. Anyway, I'm less familiar with the map. I'm still learning it for this game. So the start position here is pretty nice. Like I said, you're pretty safe. There's some Skaven here. It's Clan Eshin, actually. So Deathmaster Snitch's clan, which is pretty cool. We will be fighting them early on. There's some greenskins down here to the south, but it's all Cathay, basically. There are some Cathay rebels up here, but that's actually a good thing, because it just means more territory for you to take early. So, let's jump in, and I'm going to show you why I think this is a great campaign start. Income is pretty decent to start with. The Skaven are not particularly difficult here early, especially since you can transform into a giant dragon. I'm going to go ahead and do a few auto-resolves, though. We'll fight the more interesting battles as we go through, because I don't want to burn all my time on this video just fighting, like, Skaven trash stacks here that you can obviously beat, by just right-clicking your dragon into combat. I'm going to go ahead and grab some more archers and another Jade Warrior. A couple interesting things here. You start with a Great Longma Rider, which is really handy for destroying towers and getting rear charges early on. You also start with a Fire Rain Rocket, which is really good at drawing enemies into you and allowing you to use Cathay's great defensive capabilities. We did just pick up an Alchemist of Metal, so we're going to go double metal here. Zhao Ming does have some Lore of Metal. And speaking of, let's go take a look at his skill tree real quick. As far as Lore of Metal goes, some of his stuff is Lore of Metal. He can also get healing, which makes him great for a starter campaign, so he can regenerate, which is going to make him very powerful. You got this Master of Alchemy stuff that can make him stronger and make his army stronger. But if you look at the magic here, he has some breath attack, a wind attack, but he's also got final transmutation from Lore of Metal. So he's pretty powerful sorcerer, and then you combine that with the fact that we just threw in this alchemist, and in Warhammer 3, the Searing Doom bombardment is really strong against a single unit, and of course you can overcast to get an even wider one. It's very powerful, and you don't want to overlook that, so it's a pretty strong start as you're able to bust up Doom blobs pretty darn well, in my opinion. We're already at a Yang harmony, so I'm going to go ahead and start throwing some, well, I'm actually just going to throw more Yang in here because I don't really like the Yin garrison building. It's a little bit weaker. I like this one because it provides Jade Warriors, just a better, well, this one provides the Crossbowmen, which is handy. This one provides better Warriors. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go with the Yin. I'll give it a shot. Crossbows are probably Cathay's shining achievement, in my opinion. I'm not going to use Peasant Archers for very long, but I need to unlock this so I can unlock some other
My gift
other tech here. We've got our caravan right here to start off with. I'm going to go ahead and take a risk here and load my caravan. Well, I got to close this help panel. I'm going to load my caravan up as high as I can. But remember, it gets a 20% boost, so we can go 1,200 instead of 1,000 at the peak. And we're going to look for some just kind of easy pickings here. There's a little bit of difficulty early on in all of your trade routes, but let's go for this one here. Set our caravan route to Shattered Stone Bay, and let's go ahead and dispatch. A little bit of your early caravan stuff is just a bit of luck and, you know, a little bit of skill if you fight with them. So let's end this turn and we'll get to the next one here. I'll show these two so you can see the turn-in times. They're obviously really not bad early on in a campaign. They get a little bit longer later on, but I feel like constant improvement on turn-in times over the course of Total War Warhammer, especially in Warhammer 2 with Mortal Empires. It got way better, and it seems to be quite good here. Go ahead and take the Skaven territory here at Xinwu. We've got a duplicated building, and I'm actually going to build it here because this one only goes up to tier 3. Let's tear it down in the main settlement and build something different. Alright. We got a bound spell. See, we already picked up a magic item, and he's very good at picking up magic items. Let's go in here, and let's go over to his details screen here. He picked up this Astromancer Spyglass. We got the Ruby Ring of Ruin as well. Let's see what the Spyglass does. Battle reinforcement time. That's actually really nice. Minus 40% faction-wide, because you do have to wait sometimes up to 2 minutes for your reinforcements, so that's a significant reduction. And for an early tier item, we'll take it. Also the Armor of Fortune here, which he just took on. Let's go over to our Alchemist, and let's get this Ring of Ruby Ruin on him. And that should be good for now. He did pick up a skill point. As far as skill points go, my recommendation if you're playing a first campaign is not to worry about the magic and stuff yet. Do Inspiring Presence, Unyielding, and Sure Aim. Focus on these early because these are going to buff up basically all of your infantry for Cathay and all of your crossbowmen. And crossbows are brutal in this game for Cathay. And once you stick a good line of upgraded halberds and it's backed by crossbows, I mean, Cathay is a force to be reckoned with in the campaign. I don't know how that's going to play out in multiplayer, but in the campaign, it is very strong. Very strong. And it's part of the reason why I recommend this faction as a first campaign as well. And you'll see some of that in action, hopefully, today as I play through this. Like I said, I'm going to be in a bit of a hurry here. In fact, I'm going to cut off some turns, and I'm going to come back to you when I've got something a little more interesting here in terms of battles. If anything significant happens in terms of first campaign tips, I will show you that. So don't worry, I'm not going to skip over anything. Gives you important tips. I'm going to go ahead and put Searing Doom on here because I told you it's powerful, and you should be using it early. Alright, something interesting did come up here that I want to share with you all, and my caravan encountered some ogre resistance. I want to show you all how to handle this. They'll always offer you, like, to get some better diplomatic relations. Basically, you can feed one of your units to the ogres, and if you feel like that's going to be helpful, you can. Generally speaking, I never allow this, but again, if you're looking to try and get better relations so that the ogres don't declare war on you, that's certainly an option for you. However, I'm going to choose to fight. You should always look at your auto-resolve here. When it says close victory and casualties are low, there's some risk. Like, sometimes when they say low casualties, you get some pretty bad casualties. You can fight this on your own to try and minimize it, and I can certainly do that, but typically when it says low casualties, you mouse over this, none of your units are flashing red. That means you're not going to lose any units. You don't want to lose units in your caravan. You can't recruit new units. They only come through, like, story actions and stuff that pop up from dilemmas like this. Let's go ahead and auto-resolve this. Kill the ogres. And see, we did get this. That was not low casualties. I took 50% casualties on all my infantry, so it's low as a whole, but see, that's the risk you take when you go on that auto-resolve. They gave this guy 101 kills. Ain't no way this guy got 101 kills if I'm controlling that army. But you can use this Venerate ability to gain some of those losses back, and you should. That's a good example right there. I mean, if I wasn't trying to save time, I should have fought that. But again, a little bit of information for you when you're playing your first campaign. If you really want to min-max and do the best, fight some of those on your own. Don't let that kind of stuff happen. I'm going to put another yin building in here to try and work on getting my harmony a little bit closer. When you're in harmony, by the way, for people who are new to the Cathay campaign, when you get all your buildings in harmony, you get the most growth, you get the most income and control and reduction of corruption, and you get like a cool ability to summon an extra unit when you're in battle. So it's really useful. So that's why you want to be in harmony. If you're not, it's not the end of the world. But, you know, it helps if you can get in harmony. And you do that by checking this one. So right now it says current balance Yang 2. So that means I'm +2 on the side of Yang, which is the white one here. And when you take a look, you can increase it in different ways. Buildings have a yin-yang harmony sometimes. So you can see I've been building yin buildings with this black one here because that's the counterbalance. And then you can also do it by researching certain technologies and then recruiting characters that have a certain balance too. So just keep an eye on it. Try and get that in balance as best you can. Not the end of the world if you're not able to get a perfect balance on it. So don't worry too much, but it is definitely good to do. Now let me show you a situation like this. Where do we go next, right? We could go attack these Dissenter Lords of Jinshin. We have an entire province. And this is what you want to do first, is you want to take control of the wastelands of Jinshin. So you take everything here. Now, where to go next? I like to go to Taizu and get rid of the Skaven, because the Skaven are a pain in the butt, and we don't want to let them get too much up on us. But if you look here, there's a road that goes through the Shrine of the Alchemist, and we can reach the Shrine of the Alchemist all in one turn, and we're more likely to make it to Taizu in one turn going along this road. So again, if you're looking to kind of maximize your potential here, I would probably recommend just going over here and hitting the Shrine of the Alchemist.
Zhao Ming.
I could stick around and recruit a few more units, but we should be fine. So let's go attack the Shrine of the Alchemist. Yeah, see, they had forces that were on the way there that didn't quite make it. So we're going to auto-resolve this one. Took a few more casualties than I would have liked, but really not the end of the world. Picked up an earthling. I'm getting magic items from almost every fight we've been in. And so again, that's another reason why I feel like Zhao Ming is really good as a starting one. You're going to have lots of equipment. He's got lots of good bonuses, all that kind of stuff. Magic is good. We don't have access to the Jade Warriors without doing global, and that's going to take a couple turns. Don't waste your time early in this campaign, but you should keep stacking up more units to make your army more powerful, so I'm going to keep doing that. Missiles are very powerful early, and you just need some melee units to protect them, so that's what I'm doing there. I'm going to keep the recruitment going every time I get a chance to do it over at turn end where I can't move anyway. All right, we finished our research. Let's take a look at our yin-yang balance. We're now yang 3, so, and it's probably because, yeah, they have a yang building here. I'm going to tear that down, so that'll actually take us back down to 2. And then if I take a look here, we can do this harmonic discipline for yin, and then I'll put a yin building here, and then that should put us in balance, at least temporarily. It's going to go out of balance here and there. We now get our first chance to align the Wu Jing compass. Again, if you're a newer player, this is a special mechanic for Cathay, and you can pick one of these 4 directions and let its benefits help you in the way that you feel is going to be most worth it. So if you do this one over here, it gives you more control over your provinces, and it starts to cause attrition to any enemy army that are beyond the Great Bastion. And it says unlocked when energy reserve is full. So it says the energy reserve must be full in order to perform. So let's go ahead and point it in this direction. This could be helpful at helping us deal with enemy armies early and maintain order in our newly conquered settlements. So let's go ahead and get ready to end our turn. Our caravan master did pick up a skill point, and this is very important in my opinion. Pay very close attention here if you're wanting to have a good first campaign experience. Your caravans are very important for Grand Cathay because they make you a lot of extra income, and that can be a very big benefit for Cathay. If you get ambushed, it's very difficult to fight your way out of ambushes. immediately pick the Wayfinders for your very first skill point. Ignore everything else, pick Wayfinders, and you wanna pick this anytime you get a chance to increase it. It locks it until we get, at a higher level, but definitely start with Wayfinders. It has a massive reduction to the chance that you're ambushed, which means your caravan stays alive, which means you get paid, okay? Getting paid is the key to victory. War is fueled by money. Real life, on the game, everything. All right, so we have an opportunity here with our caravan to add a unit, and it is an ogre hero called a hunter. We definitely want him, so let's see what you can do. We're gonna let that ogre hero join our caravan. He is a good hero to help us out. I'm not gonna talk much more about it because ogres are still under embargo, and I don't know. I don't think I just did anything wrong by taking him on, but it is what it is. All right, I'm gonna push the Skaven here. There are likely to be more of them at Taizu, because remember that they likely control that settlement, and there could be a whole nother Skaven army garrisoning the settlement as well. We're going to go ahead and start getting the trade benefit here, and speaking of trade, let's go see if any of the Cathayan factions are willing to trade with us
May
yet.
the master of the celestial winds
Guys are.
guide us
So
all.
whenever you see this positive here, again, some tips for beginners. Whenever you see this positive, like when it's over 0, come over here and click this balance offer. And what it means now is it's still in the green, but we just made 400, and we're going to get the trade agreement we want. So let's propose that offer. That's a great deal for us. We got a little bit of cash. Yeah, we wanted. We don't want to mess with the Dissenter Lords. Let's check the Celestial Loyalist here.
Cathay's advancement can
They would like to trade and have a non-aggression pact.
As one.
We can hit balance offer and get a small payment out of it as well. So let's offer this.
This honors.
And see, when you're on a first campaign now, when I played my Zhao Ming campaign, I fought some of these people just because I can and I'm not worried about it. But when you're doing your first one and you want to make sure you're a little safer, make friends with these factions surrounding you. It'll just make life easier. Look, these guys will probably take a trade agreement. See, it's balanced enough. Now, we have to pay him 65. No big deal. Whatever. Let's propose the offer. This will get us off on a good footing with all the factions around us. Gives us some trade agreements. We're not going to make a large amount of money on any of them, but now that we're picking up some trade resources, it could be quite useful. Spend another turn and continue the Iron Dragon's march to greatness in your first campaign. So hopefully these tips have been helpful so far. I guess I'll find out whenever the game finally releases and people can start trying it. Now, you're given an option here, and I want to show you some differences. When I move up here, I could right-click into the settlement, and we're going to find Skaven here. And then we would be attacking the settlement, which means it's going to be a minor settlement battle, and they're going to get the benefit of towers and all kinds of stuff, right? We don't want that. Well, I mean, you may want that. You may want to see this type of battle, but it's actually more detrimental for your army. So again, you're in your first campaign. You're looking to do the best you can. Don't click on this. Right-click the army outside the settlement, because then it's going to pull all of the garrison and any army there outside of the settlement, and they do not get any towers, and they have to come in as reinforcements. See, we pushed him out. We still have the advantage here. This is a Skaven settlement, but it hasn't been shown to us, which means that we get the advantage of being able to walk past it. The zone of control isn't going to impact us, so we're going to keep chasing this guy and kill him. Now we see that indeed Snitch was there. He's going to be coming in as reinforcements, but he doesn't get to come in for 2 whole minutes, which means that we get to focus on this guy first. And Snitch's army is pretty crap, so we should be able to wreck him. I'm going to go ahead and fight this battle and show you how to handle this situation. Almost certainly those reinforcements are coming in from behind us, so again, it's your first campaign, you want to do well. The way the reinforcement system works now is similar to, say, like Troy, where the reinforcements don't come in immediately when a battle starts like they did in previous Total War games. They start coming in a little later. In this case, it's going to be about 2 minutes. And so what that means is there's an exposed and weak Clan Eshin army that's going to be immediately in front of us. And you can see on the map here that to our right and near the bottom of the map, that is where Deathmaster Snitch is going to be coming from. So we do not want to give these guys a good opportunity to wait on the reinforcements. The good thing is that I have some rockets here, and there's a couple of things I can do to make these guys engage me, even though they're gonna not want to, and they're gonna want to wait on the reinforcements. So I'm gonna put spears in the back. I'm gonna put my swords in the front. Now with Cathay, there's a yin and yang system in the battle screen, and you want to take advantage of this, especially as a new player. And whenever yin units are near yang units, they buff each other. And you can tell that that's happening by seeing this right down here on their unit card. So this means that they are all going to get buffs. So it makes your missile units better, it makes your melee units better when the missile units are nearby. You can see like our cannon here is a yin unit, so we're going to put it back here by these spears where it's going to be receiving some protection. And Skaven can summon stuff, so I'm going to put those right on top of it. And you can see now that the cannon, or sorry, our rockets get that ability as well. Now our rockets are well within range. And then we've got our Longma Riders. These guys are going to operate usually a little bit out on their own because they're one of your speedy units, but for now we'll put them close. Let's get our caster up here as well. And then the Iron Dragon, we're going to immediately transform into the dragon, and we're going to use him to cause as much damage to the enemy army as possible. Now, another key thing here early on that I would recommend you do is for your skirmish units, you need to go into the settings, and I'm going to come in here and find the setting. So setting and default skirmish mode hybrid units. We don't want that. And see default skirmish mode, we're going to turn that off as well. And you can turn on default guard mode if you want, but we're going to just do this for now. What this means is that none of my skirmish units are going to automatically run away from an enemy unit that's approaching. They're gonna hold their ground and keep trying to fire. Now, I like to take the extra step and put them in guard mode, and the reason for this is when they're in guard mode, they won't go forward chasing a unit after it routes and keep trying to shoot it. So that becomes a very useful situation for you. I'm actually going to reposition these
Spears!
as in spears like this, and I'll keep my Longma in case we get a summon. Alright, excuse me. Let's go ahead and start the battle. Let's watch my Fire Rain rockets do some work here.
That you already revere me.
So there they go, and the Skaven are going to get to feel the impacts of Cathay's Fire Rain rockets. Now this should draw the rats towards me. What I've seen of AI behavior, at least at this point in the game, because we're early on, is that the AI will typically kind of try to ignore your initial bombardments, but eventually they realize, like, hey, we're just going to get our face shot off. This is not advantageous to us, and they'll go ahead and charge you. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I've also used the transform ability on the Iron Dragon. I'm going to get up here and get the attention of the Skaven. So you can see our Fire Rain rockets already routed one of their Skaven slave spears. We check back here. There's still over a minute before reinforcements come. So our objective is working. We should have this army pretty much dead. Yep, there was already a Skaven summon. I knew it. Freaking filthy rats. And my skirmishers, even though they were told not to skirmish away, were still on skirmish because I guess it was the default setting when the battle loaded. And you can see why I don't want that to happen, because now I got things running around all stupid. But we routed the summon, and then here is the Skaven Master Assassin. He does have Weeping Blades, which is a bit of a pain. This army, though, is really no longer even a concern at this moment. We now have these armies that are going to be here in 30 seconds. And so what we'd be better off doing is let's just go ahead and ignore that army over there. We've essentially neutralized it. And I'm going to attack that Master Assassin a little... Actually, this is a waste of time. Let's just get out of here. Just leave these guys alone. They're not worth their time. I'm going to select this whole thing, push Control-G to put them in a locked group, and then I'm going to turn them towards the reinforcements so that our strongest facet is now facing reinforcements. And here the reinforcements come. Now watch this. I'm going to show you kind of a fun trick we can do here too.
As one.
I'm just going to bring one unit of Peasant Spears out here to help the Iron Dragon get rid of these. See, we immediately tear out of those rats. Alright, we're now turned towards the reinforcements. Our Fire Rain rockets are going to have a field day with all of this approaching. Oh, there's another stupid summon. I hate Skaven with a flaming passion. The only thing that's more annoying than Skaven for me at this point is Nurgle. They are annoying. I'm gonna go use my Longma to cut down those skirmishers. I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the Iron Dragon a little bit farther over here. There's Deathmaster Snitch. It's gonna be a powerful enemy.
My elixirs are ready. They will
I'm gonna retarget my rockets into the center of this approaching Skaven blob.
Wind and fire. Guided by ancestors.
Alright, our Longma Riders hit those Skaven Slave Slingers. Now let's get out of here. You don't want to leave them around in prolonged combat, especially with Deathmaster Snitch approaching. Oh yeah, great damage right around. Already, see, now my archers are the ones doing all the work. There's another stupid Skaven summon. I don't know how many summons they're going to have. Another reason why you put your archers on defensive, they can keep firing despite the mess that's going on there. Alright, so we're keeping the Skaven infantry away from us here in the back.
Acolyte of secrets.
This Clan Rat summon's a bit of a nuisance, but we should be able to deal with it. Alright, here comes the rats, and here comes Deathmaster Snitch. Snitch is now blobbed up in the middle of the artillery unit as well. Our artillery has gotten 338 kills, which is wonderful and obnoxious all at the same time. Now when the Skaven get blobbed, pull out your Searing Doom and watch the damage that follows. Searing Doom doesn't cost a ton of magic. It's going to be really useful. See there, we're going to delete a ton of hit points off the Skaven. So you just take advantage of that blob.
Bring in harmony.
I'm going to let our archers continue to do their work here. There's a blob of skirmishers a ways out there. I'm going to use my archers to fight it. We got rid of their summon. Now we're going to try and finish Snitch. He's gotten himself a little bit buried in trouble here. We've also got this breath ability, which should be good against Skaven because they're low armor. Watch that there. Oh yeah, tons of damage. So you can see again why the Iron Dragon's good. Our Searing Doom is ready again, so we're going to just find the next blob and see how well our Jade Warriors are holding against these cheap Skaven. Really no problem.
The Celestial Faithful.
We take a few losses here, not a big deal. We're fighting an army much larger than our own, and totally acceptable. Snitch is now terrified and fleeing, so let's bring the Iron Dragon to bear elsewhere. Continue to support our units.
Stone and steel.
See, I targeted my archers towards a blob. They effectively got rid of most of it. Let's reposition our archers a bit. Shoot some of these skirmishers behind us. Ooh, they're attacking our artillery. I don't love that, 'cause I don't want to lose my artillery units. Let's see if we can get their leadership broken quickly. Mitch is running away. Snitch is running away. He's got a ways to go before he gets to the edge of the map, though, so that's a fruitless chase right there, because he's too fast to catch. Snitch is a pretty quick character.
Never conquered.
I'm going to start just getting rid of some of these remaining Skaven Slave Slingers. Fortunately for us, they don't cause a ton of damage.
Peasant spearman.
Alright, our artillery unit got knocked off of its machines, I believe, so let's get them reattached. They're taking damage now, and I don't like that. Let's go hit the Night Runners. The Night Runners are getting us. Alright, our archers have gotten rid of some of the issue. Here comes Snitch for seconds. Like I said, I'm trying to keep our rockets safe here. Reposition them a bit. Reposition our archers a bit so they can get some shots on this blob. Now see, the Skaven are re-blobbing over here against our Jade Warriors. Jade Warriors are a very nice defensive unit. So again, wait for that blob to form. Be careful about where you place this. Nice quality of life improvement, by the way. It goes into slow motion when you pick a spell, which allows you to target it very accurately without having to worry about changing the speed of the battle. So see, there we go. We got a very nice bombardment. The Skaven are taking massive losses, and at this point, the Iron Dragon is kind of all over the map, making the Skaven pay a very dear price for existing. There's another one of his magics there. See how good you are against your early enemies here? Extremely good. Extremely good against early enemies. Our Alchemist is getting a little bit chewed up back here. That is not what you want. Let's address that. These Night Runners are good slingers, and they're particularly good with Clan Eshin because they get armor piercing, so be very careful and cautious of those units. You see one there's over here that's kind of jacking me up right now as well, so let's just get away from it. They're annoying to catch because they have these stupid snare nets, and they have physical resistance, stuff like that. They're very annoying units. Right there, that one took a rocket barrage, so it's going to be the end of their resistance. So, see, there we go. Even outnumbered, we got a fairly easy, fairly solid victory. We just had better troops than the Skaven. And remember that we've been putting upgrade points into those Jade Warriors, so it makes them even more effective. But look at the damage we did with our leaders. See how much damage you can do to unarmored enemies? The fire rain rockets, 371 kills. I mean, it's utterly absurd. And then, of course, the peasant archers made sure that the Skaven couldn't use all of that range to any real good effect. So, yeah. Even though it's a cheap army, it's very, very capable early on. Another reason why, again, I'm recommending this as the first campaign. I like using this Venerate. It keeps us ready to keep fighting and stay on the move, because we can replenish our units after battles. Unfortunately, we cannot quite reach back in here to finish the Skaven army and the work that we started, so we'll have to get them on the next turn. That is very unfortunate for us. We are just shy of the amount of campaign movement range that we need. We could, I don't think this 5% is going to get us there either, so let's just keep working on sure aim. See, now I'm going to put that in there, so again, it's going to start making my archers and ultimately your crossbows. You want to focus on crossbows in the end. And we've got an upgrade for our alchemist here. Plague of Rust is a good one to pick. If you run into a lord or a unit that has high armor and you don't have a lot of AP missiles, which you don't early on in this campaign, you use Plague of Rust, strip off their armor, and you wreck them. So that's what we're going to use early on. We've got some buildings that need to be taken care of. We can upgrade this settlement. I recommend upgrading your small settlements as quickly as you can. Getting them to tier 3 as quickly as you can allows you to build walls. And it means that the AI can't just waltz right in. They have to fight through walls. And when they have to fight through walls, they're more likely to siege. When they siege, you're more likely to be able to get reinforcements to help against them. If you want a non-aggression pack, let's take that. Let's be friends. The nearby Cathayan factions. Our caravan is completed, so we just picked up some cash. And we picked up a special relic here, which increases our research rate by 20%. So pretty sweet. Look at this, the Skaven once again make a mistake. I think we can attack this reinforcing army and pull them out of their settlement. Nope, he went too far away, but he can't reinforce now. Now we have to fight them in a settlement battle, but there's really no reason to do this. The auto-resolve is going to be very kind to us. There's no reason to give these guys a bunch of free kills from towers. Just take these auto-resolves. Again, I know you all might want to see a minor settlement battle, and there will be plenty on the channel. Don't you worry. But, you know, when you're playing a new campaign, take advantage of the situations when it favors you. I don't want the income building. I want to start with growth buildings. Growth helps you level up your settlements faster, and then ultimately makes you harder to conquer and tougher against your enemies. Now we finish sure aim. Now that we finish sure aim, I'm going to start on Route Marcher, and I'm going to work my way up through Route Marcher to get... Well, actually, I mean, you could go one of two ways. This one is locked right here until level 9, and we're only at 8, so we could go this route and get a regenerate for our dragon, and that probably would be good. And then I would recommend going the Route Marcher, and then a few on Reassuring Presence, and then one in Fervent, before you then jump to Irrepressible, which helps you with replenishment rate, and then to Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is a very important skill, because if you start getting attacked by multiple enemy stacks, you can use Lightning Strike to fight them one at a time. And it's a very, very handy tool that can save your campaign in the right situation. So we put another upgrade in Wayfinders. The last one is locked until level 8, so we can't do it yet. That means, what should we do next? Sometimes you get an option with your caravan, take a safer route, but it costs you some money. You don't like losing profits, so when you use this one, Local Guides right here, it can reduce the cost of that. Now, we are swimming in money right now, so this isn't going to be a big deal. So instead, I would recommend, let's hit Inspiring Presence, and then what we're going to do is the same thing, Unyielding and Sure Aim, but we're going to focus on Wayfinders and then Unyielding and Sure Aim, and that makes our caravan army very difficult for enemies to destroy. You definitely want to upgrade your military structure. You want to get a hold of Jade Warrior Crossbowmen as quickly as you can get a hold of them. They are a key unit. This is not a trade substance here, this is just extra growth, so we're not going to really worry about grazing pasture. Well, actually we will, because it gives some income and some nice growth. Let's go ahead and pick that building. Or actually, no, we want to build the fences, and then ultimately we'll build that building. This is going to be my military recruitment center, so I do have to focus on that a little bit there. Alright, I like to have a Jade Barracks in every province in case you need to recruit some base infantry quickly. Now, our sister wants military access, but she wants us to pay them for said military access, and sister, I think not. I think not. Don't be falling for that. Alright, the last Skaven came back at us to attack us. We also have some banners here. You'll want to throw these on. This one would be good on our Longma, make it faster. And then this other banner here just gives extra leadership. Right now, probably best on a peasant unit. So let's...
Emperor is with us!
Oh, I killed one of my peasant units. I didn't pay attention. That stinks. And I didn't recruit anything new on that turn end either, which is a bit of a mistake.
Blacksmith.
Now look here, the AI is trying to come and get my city while it's unprotected. They love doing that, but
Desert
see, now with the road open, I can move all the way back here,
Dragon.
and we can block them. They have a pretty decent army. They have crossbows, and we do not yet.
I
Go ahead and rush into the settlement.
me in the forge.
See, but the Shrine of the Alchemist does have some garrison unit for us, so they will not be able to overcome us here.
Get out
Upgrade our Lord. Let's go ahead and do Master of Metal, which is going to help us with... Or actually, it unlocks... Upgraded Final Trans... So it upgrades Final Transmutation and Plague of Rest, which we haven't unlocked yet, but it does give us access to this ability here, which is going to let us heal
The gift.
as we're in combat. It makes you a little bit weak to fire, but it's worth it. Let's do a full up... Well, actually, let's do a full upgrade on Plague of Rust, and then Metal Shifting. Gehenna's Golden Hounds is a cool spell, but honestly, the Searing Doom is probably just better early on. Look at this, we're in balance as well. So we have balanced our harmony. That's going to help us with cash, with diplomatic relations, with control, corruption, all those kind of things. So keep fighting to keep in balance. Let's go ahead and run a... Now this is going to knock us out of balance, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and put a Yang building here. And then let's go pick a... did I say Yang building? I meant Yen, I think.
Lord of the Jade
No.
Sword.
We did a Yang building. So now I need to go do a Yin Tech. There's another Yin Tech here, which gives us a banner that allows things to stock. Or we could do this one here, which increases income from cities. Let's go ahead and do that.
My gift to the
Now,
people.
let's keep going here. I'm going to improve the Shrine of the Alchemist, building up the settlement. Spend your money when you have it. And we have spent all we can spend. Let's finish off these rebels here who wish to destroy us. They've made a move towards the City of Monkeys. Now, this is an interesting situation you can find yourself in. The enemy is kind of bouncing back and forth, threatening your cities. City of Monkeys is just about to have more protection. It doesn't have a lot at the moment.
Ruler of the Sky Road. Get out of my mind.
And what we're gonna do, City of Monkeys is important to me because it's got my extra recruitment capability.
Iron Dragon.
So I do want to go and protect it.
Domain.
And then I'm gonna show you a way to get these guys where this kind of stuff will stop happening. Now let's take a look at our recruitment capability. We can now have access to crossbowmen. I'm gonna go ahead and stack in. I'm gonna replace these warriors with halberds eventually, but I'm gonna stack in a warrior and a crossbow. We want to start replacing our peasant units, but our army's not full yet, so can't really replace them fully yet. Now we're gonna go ahead and build defenses here. It is possible that these guys will move towards Xinwu to attempt to attack it on the next turn. We shall see. I will keep a close eye on it. Let's end this turn and see what these guys do, and depending on what they do, I'll give you some advice. Yep, okay, so see, now they move back towards my other settlement. What the AI is doing here is they don't want to fight my army because they know they're going to lose. But they're trying to stay close to your unguarded settlements.
Zhao
Now,
Ming.
if I just keep moving back and forth, they're just going to keep bouncing back and forth, and this is going to be like an old Benny Hill movie.
Brave.
Stupid
Villain
chase music going
by
on, and you're
rage.
just bouncing, and you're going to waste tons of turns. It's going to be really annoying, and it's going to make you hate Total War. So don't do this. Watch what I'm going to do here. You have a special stance for your army called Ambush, and the enemy army cannot see you. Okay, but it requires 25% of your campaign movement points. So I'm going to move up as close as I can, but I'm going to leave a little buffer here to make sure we got enough movement points left. And I'm going to enter an ambush. Now these guys can't see me. If the AI attacks the Shrine of the Alchemist, they might succeed in their attack, or they may siege it. They may run for Taizu. I don't know. But if they can't see me here, most likely what the AI is going to do is attack the closest unguarded settlement. Let's see what happens. I'm going to test my theory here. They actually went around me. They did not spot my ambush either, and they went into a forced march stance, which means that they cannot retreat if I attack them. So see, the ambush stance is already paying dividend. When I come out of the ambush stance, and these guys just had the oh crap moment. So see, this AI army was running around us, being annoying, trying to get to our unguarded settlements, and we tricked it. And now they're dead. So we're going to auto-resolve this.
Iron
That's not really worth our time. And then we're going to venerate to replenish our troops. And there we go. Boom.
Whopstone.
AI army knocked out of commission. Now you can see that they are basically amassing a pretty large force at Shenyang. And it's going to be difficult because that's a walled settlement, so we're going to want to be well-equipped when we go to attack. I'm going to start moving back towards the City of Monkeys so we can replenish, do some recruiting. I only have 18 units in my army, so better warriors, okay? We have the money, focus on better warriors. Right now, I'm splitting recruitment between crossbows and Jade Warriors. Eventually, we'll get the Halberd version. Once I fill that up, I'm going to start removing peasant units every turn and replacing them with the Jade Warrior variants. Because the Jade Warrior variants can be very strong now. Another option you could do is you could run 2 armies, each filled full of peasants, and that works as well. Probably even better for the higher difficulties because you're going to be getting attacked from multiple fronts. But it works here if you decide to do it that way. So that is an option, and you can choose to play however you feel like playing the game, because at that point you paid for it. Play it the way you wish. I am going to go ahead and upgrade Hanyu Port to Tier 3. And let's see, we do have skill points. Now our dragon can replenish, so our power increases further. And our first campaign is going to remain easier. I'm going to grab a horse for our spellcaster so that they can be more mobile. A horse is always good for the spellcaster. They can get around, put their spells where they need them if they're out of range. So let's now end our turn.
Perhaps we can forge a new
Greasus.
path.
Disgusting. Greasus Goldtooth here is demanding that I give him money for a trade agreement. I will take no such demands from nasty ogres. As a dragon lord of Cathay, I am unconcerned with filthy, bedridden ogres.
Land of
All right.
fire.
They continue to amass forces at Shenyang. Let's see what kind of garrison they have. It's actually not particularly good, and they're only about half army here. However, the troops they have, these Jade Warrior crossbows are going to be way better than our peasant archers. And then if we take a look at their garrison, let's see if they have more Jade Warrior crossbows. They have a Celestial Dragon crossbow and another Jade Warrior crossbow. That's concerning, to say the least, because I only have 2 crossbows of my own. I do, however, have a Fire Rain rocket. Would do very well against their infantry from range. However, if you look at the movement, I can't siege these guys at the end of this turn moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit an encamped stance, and I'm going to start traveling towards their settlement. And this will allow me to continue to recruit when I get to the end of my turn, but you can see my army is full. What I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these 2 peasant spearmen using this button. And what that does is it finishes replenishing one. I'll then boot the other. I wish it would have replenished the one with more chevrons, but you know, the game likes to be a jerk. So again, 1 warrior and 1 crossbowman. So this is increasing my crossbowmen while slowly moving closer to my target. We've completed our research. We are in a yin-yang balance right now. This is great. However, we will soon not be in that balance, and we don't want to stop our research, so let's do this drill training so that we can open up more of these yang things, and we'll do buildings or other tech or whatever we need to do. Our caravan is ready for another trip. Let's load it up. I like just risking the load up. Load it up, and then you got to pick a destination. Just traded here, so you can see that we're not going to get as much money if we go back there. There's some pretty good hauls over here. We can even go all the way to the von Karsteins and get a pretty good haul. Let's go ahead and make this journey here. It's not a particularly long one. 5-turn journey for pretty good money to Frozen Landing. Let's dispatch. And hopefully we can continue to take care of our caravan pretty successfully. We've been successful so far. I don't have a ton of time left in this one. I'll go ahead and take the non-aggression pact with Sister. Again, we don't want to make enemies of our own. Excuse me. There's just no need to be making enemies out of our own. I'm going to make one more move here closer to their settlement, but while staying inside my territory. You can see the line there. And I'm going to remove another unit of peasants. And at this point, my army is going to be pretty powerful. Enough so that we can go siege these guys and beat them. You can see that they are also recruiting Jade Warrior crossbows, which again are powerful units, and not to be underestimated even on the normal mode. Now our Wujing Compass is completed. We can now activate this. So if there are any enemies beyond the bastion, they're going to start suffering attrition. And we can also realign the Wujing compass. Now what could be handy right now is growth, because we're early on. So let's pump up the growth and see if we can get our settlements upgraded so that we can tech up faster than our enemies and just be better. Okay? Don't underestimate growth in a campaign. If you're a new player, growth is a very important mechanic in which your cities can be improved. It takes time to grow, and adding a little bit each turn can be a big deal, and it can put you ahead of your enemies in terms of the tech and the units that you bring to the battlefield. Alright, so the caravan has encountered ambushers. We can fight the ambushers, which is risky, or we can lose some money. We are sitting on a crap load of money. If you can afford this, go ahead and take the long way. Don't get your caravan killed this early, alright? Keep that caravan alive.
The touch of warpstone.
Okay, look at this. We can go attack their settlement. They do have an army outside the settlement. I wish we could reach it. We cannot. So we're going to go ahead and just go encircle the settlement. This will prevent them from recruiting more troops. However, they're going to have a lot of troops because they have a garrison. Some of their troops are pretty solid. You can see here they've got a lot of Jade Warriors. Almost as many as we do. And then they have a garrison, so they will outnumber us. So what we're going to do here is we just have to be better than them. Now, we do have the summon unit here for the Ancestral Warriors. Let's take our standard of Discipline, and let's just drop that on one of our Jade Warriors. And let's go ahead and start building siege equipment, and we're going to continue the siege. This is going to make them start suffering attrition. It's different in Warhammer 3. The enemy in a siege starts suffering attrition quickly. I want to pull them out of their settlement. We do not want them to have towers. We do not want them to have choke points. If they want to fight us, we want to pull them out of their settlement, make us do it. Build more defenses and upgrade your buildings as soon as you can. You should be swimming in money early on in this campaign, which is another reason why it's a great one to start with.
Would you care for a demonstration of them?
All right. Military access, there's really no need for it. They're just going to come grab settlements from under our nose. So really, I mean, if you can agree to that if you want. I don't like it because the AI just comes and grabs settlements from under your nose. All right, the AI is making a very stupid decision here. They should have attacked us immediately while their armies were at full strength. And sometimes the AI makes this mistake, and they did not attack us while they were at full strength, which means that every turn they get weaker. Now, we don't want to camp here forever, but right now we are gaining a critical advantage over our enemies, and we are going to absolutely 100% take advantage of the AI's stupidity here. This is a game, yes, but this is Total War. Don't fight fair. That's like one of the first important lessons of Total War. Do not fight fair. Fight unfair. Okay? Don't fight on equal terms with your enemy. Destroy them. You can see I kept building up military capability. Now, we have these guys siege. They know they're going to lose, and so they're like, here, have some money and leave us alone. Do not accept that. Absolutely not. Not unless it was critical. And it is not critical right now. Our harmony just switched to a yang, so let's throw some yin at it. We might get some yin when we capture this new settlement. And capture the settlement we will. You can see that they continue to lose men on every turn. So right now we're not in any hurry. I mean, you can fight this if you just really want to see a walled settlement, but you're going to take a lot of attrition to their towers. Just continue the siege. And it's your first campaign. You want to be successful, right? Resist the urge to look at all the pretty stuff. And you can do that when the time is right. And, you know, if you feel like safe doing it there, then go for it. We're going to throw an extra yin here. This one gives 3 yin. That would be too many. This one gives 1 yin right here, and we pick up another banner here, so let's go ahead and do that.
Cathay must never stand still.
And one more turn, and then this should be the end of my lesson here for you to show you all how to get started.
Care for a demonstration of them?
Trade agreement, absolutely, and they're willing to pay us for it. So take all those trade agreements. I should have been looking for that, by the way. I didn't go look. All right, we should have the... Okay, we finished our caravan. We picked up unique equipment for our caravan leader. Excellent. These guys are suffering attrition at a rapid rate. We could auto-resolve right now, and it doesn't show that we're going to lose any units. Like, I don't see any units flashing. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and take their settlement right now so we can move on and take more. So that was pretty great. So see there? We took a major enemy settlement without losing any units and without letting them get behind our lines. You can see they're actually being sieged by ogres now. which means they're not going to be fighting very well against us at the moment. No, I don't want to abandon the settlement. You want to build up your settlement. The income buildings is not what you want early. You want growth. You got to fuel that growth so you can upgrade your settlements and get ahead militarily. All right, so let's finish up this episode. We can upgrade this building in our port to get cannons and crane gunners. To see, I'm unlocking new military tech. I'm about to have Jade Lancers. I'm going to have cannons and crane guns. All kinds of good stuff. And we're only on turn 18, and we're about to have all this unlocked. Right? So see here in your first 20-ish turns, you can gain a huge advantage. Upkeep for Ogre Mercenaries, Hero Capacity for Alchemists. So these aren't very important. Let's start on this Route Marcher. And then Reassuring Presence. You always want to reduce the amount of attrition you suffer, because you will be traveling in places where you're going to suffer attrition at some point in a campaign, and it helps a great deal in keeping your army ready to fight. We need to put one more point into the metal here. I'm going to pick Metal Shifting, because when we're casting a spell, it gives our guys more damage. So we want that. We picked up a skill for our Caravan Leader. We can't do anything else in the Wayfinder, so we're just going to go ahead and pick Unyielding to make his infantry stronger. And let's go ahead and end our turn. So far, so good for the Caravan.
How do you intend to assist the Lord?
All right. Goldtooth wants more money for a bad trade agreement. We will not give it to him. In fact, the only thing we are going to be giving Goldtooth is a hail of crossbow fire later in the campaign, folks. That I can guarantee you. Alright, Sky Titan Relic, the search rate. I don't want to put that on here because these other things are better. Scrolls of Astromancer. Pretty cool. Let's put that on this character. Astromancer Spyglass, Potion of Foolhardiness, Charm Shield. That's a pretty nice ward save. It only lasts for 17 seconds, but Herb of Fortune has a permanent stuff, so that's probably better. We don't have any talismans. Let's shift over and look at our other equipment. Make sure to come in here from time to time and look at your equipment and place it where you think you need it. An earthing rod here. Trickster Shard. Trickster Shard. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. It helps her not miscast. And then let's see. We don't have any weapons for her, and I don't think we have any talisman. So that should be fine. Let's check. All right, good stuff. All right, I want to finish this video up here. I'm pretty much out of time. But I just want to finish it up by showing you that now all you have to do is just walk over here to the Tower of Ash, whatever, however you say that, Shire or however. And then you have 2 whole provinces in your control. You'll have to declare war on the ogres, but that's okay. They're ogres. We don't care about declaring war on them. We hate them because we're Cathay, right? You could choose to wait to declare war on them and then go for more stuff up here, but I think it's good to consolidate an entire province so you can exercise your control over it early on. Look, we got more trade goods here as well. And immediately take advantage of those to increase our income. So, great start. We're already strong. We have enough money to put up a second army, or at least a cheap one if we need to. We have enough money to upgrade our own army continually. We are in excellent shape. This is why Zhao Ming should be your first pick for a campaign if you feel like you need a good learner campaign, you're not as skilled at Total War, or you're a new player, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them, and I will keep an eye on the comments so that I can help you out with that. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I'll see you again soon with some more content.